Hello, Saber fans. Shamim here. We've got a very special lightsaber review for you guys today, as we will be taking a look at my all-time favorite lightsaber from any of the movies ever. This is the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber from Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And I have been looking for an exact replica of this hilt for over 2 years. And this is actually the reason that I got into custom sabers in the first place, over 2 years ago. I was looking for a replica that didn't cost $1,000, and I stumbled across the company Saberforge and purchased their Redeemer hilt, which is heavily inspired by this design. Some, inaccuracies in terms when it comes to looking exactly like the prop, but that's okay. It was the closest that I was able to find that didn't break the bank for me. So I purchased the Redeemer, and that's how I got into the world of custom sabers. I really enjoyed the hilts, and I wanted to learn more, and eventually started doing my own, etc., etc., and now here we are, 2.5 years later, and I finally get to own a very, very gorgeous piece of work by Roman Props. The name of this hilt on Roman Props' website is the Inception. You may remember that I did a review of another Roman Props hilt, the A New Hope Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber, some months ago. And since that time, they have actually updated the website and added some new products, and it looks gorgeous now. Their Roman Props' new website is much, much, much better than the old one. So if you took a look at the old one and you were turned off, go take another look, because their new website is much better, and they've added some new stuff. So go check them out. So anyway, I received this hilt. Let's do a little bit more backstory. So this, I had seen a pre-order for this hilt on Roman's new website, and I was like, what is this? This looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber from Episode 3. That's my favorite. So I wrote to him, and I'm like, how screen accurate are we talking? And he's like, I'm going to make this as screen accurate as humanly possible. And I'm like, down. I threw down my deposit for the pre-order right then and there. And yeah, I'd been following the work as progress pics came up, and I was very excited. And then finally it arrived a couple weeks ago, and I was 90% in love with it, to be honest. And the 10% that I wasn't absolutely in love with it had to do with the coloring of the black parts and the coloring of this copper piece up here. So a little bit of additional history. Some of you may recognize this little guy here. This is the 0.45 scale model from Master Replicas that they had done some years ago. And this is the first replica of Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber from Episode 3 that I had ever owned. I bought it for like $20 on eBay. And I fell in love with this. I would hold on to this while I was watching movies. I would carry this thing around like a talisman. This thing was my baby. And you can see the coloring up here is a very vibrant copper. You got some gloss black, and then you got very shiny chrome-like finish on the silver parts. So this is what I wanted full scale. And when the Inception arrived, it was scale-wise perfect and size-wise perfect, but these black parts were matte, and then this copper was just like regular copper. It wasn't polished, it wasn't powder coated, it was just solid copper, which was beautiful and it looked great, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't this that I really wanted. So luckily I have a powder coating oven in my garage. So I powder coated the black parts gloss, and then I polished the gold, and I polished the brass, and then did a glossy clear coat, and then I polished the copper, and I did a lovely, what was it, candy orange or something, I think was the name of the powder coat. But it came out looking pretty much exactly like my original baby. And at this point, I was 150% happy with this hilt, and you can't even imagine. I'm drooling over this guy. I'm so very happy right now with this. So one of the nice things about the Inception is what it's called on Roman's website. One of the nice things about the Inception is that it threads into like 17 million different parts. So it's very install friendly. everything, you could unscrew it and take it apart, and that made it very easy for me to powder coat all the different pieces. It'll make it easy if I ever want to like chrome plate these guys to make them even shinier, which I probably will do at some point, but the mirror polish that they came with is pretty nice. So I will do an electronics install at some point. And it was a great design that he did internally to make it very install friendly, but then externally to still be one-to-one screen accurate. So let's take a closer look at this guy. So at the emitter, this is your LED heatsink right here. I believe it's stainless steel is what I've heard from other people. So it'll accept a thin-walled blade. You can see it's not a thick-walled blade holder. So it's a thin-walled blade, and then you've got a teeny tiny little blade retention screw right there, which will be sufficient because you've got about an inch socket depth here, and then stainless steel inside, so it's very, very sturdy. But the emitter otherwise is perfectly screen accurate. You've got, so let's take a look at that lovely copper. It's a translucent copper powder coat, and then you've got the brass, and they just look so beautiful together with the gloss black, and then you've got your shiny. Look at the shiny! And then here are those gorgeous greeblies. I also powder coated this greebly to match the neck. So that's nice. And then you've got your booster, you've got a normal CoverTech knob, and then you've got the pommel here. Now this pommel, hey look, it's me in the camera. Whee! Inception. So this pommel is not vented for sound. But the Inception, this hilt, comes with two pommels. One of them is a display pommel, which is solid, and then the other one is vented for sound. So you can easily just unscrew this cap, the pommel cap, you know, and there is where all your electronics will go. But the pommel cap is like this, and then there's another one that has a bunch of holes in it, so you can use that to vent for sound. I didn't bring that downstairs, I apologize, otherwise I would show it to you. But it's basically the same, just with holes in it. So that's nice. So this is the Inception, the Roman props version of the Obi-Wan Kenobi hilt from Star Wars Episode 3. Let's put that back on here. Look, it's like, it's so cute. I'm so happy. All right, let's also compare this with the original prop from Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. I had previously done a review of this bottom lightsaber also from Roman Props. Now, Roman Props has done something cool now in that he has both versions of Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber, both of them as screen accurate as possible, which is pretty nice. Don't compare the size because this one's closer to the camera, so it's not that much massively bigger. Let's see, they're almost the exact same size. The Revenge of the Sith is maybe like 1/8 of an inch longer or something. So they're pretty much the exact same size. But you will see that there are some differences in the design. And I'll touch on the history again, just for those who may not be aware. In A New Hope, the original film in 1977, the props department, when they were designing the lightsabers, they went out and they grabbed a whole bunch of random pieces from grenades, from old Graflex cameras, from calculators, from plumbing equipment, from cars, from whatever they could find, and just kind of screwed them and glued them all together and say, hey, look, it's a lightsaber. So that's what happened with Luke's lightsaber, with Vader's lightsaber, with Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber here. So this Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber on Roman's website is referred to as the MK1. And it's referred to because the main piece of it is this grenade section here, the MK1 grenade. It's a number 3 MK1 grenade from World War I, I believe. I believe it's a British grenade, if I remember correctly. So that's what this is referred to as. When the prop department in Episode 3 was coming around to make the new shiny version of Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber for Episode 3, they looked at the original prop, they looked at the pictures and whatnot, and they machined Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber from scratch. So they didn't go and they didn't replicate it authentically. They made this top bit, and they added some, glossy and shiny bits. They made some additional color changes. They used this circuit board instead of a bubble strip. They didn't use an actual Graflex clamp, etc. They added a CoverTech knob instead of the D-ring that you have here. So they made some changes here and there. And they machined it all from scratch. So that's why the two props look different. Although canonically, as far as we know, Obi-Wan Kenobi kept his Episode 3 lightsaber into Episode 4. So canonically, they're supposed to be the same lightsaber. Unless we learn otherwise that he built a new one in between Episode 3 and 4. But yeah, it's really nice to have both versions of them. Even though Episode 3 is my favorite, this Episode 4 is nice just to have it as sort of this transitioned into this. And you look from afar and you squint and you're like, yeah, it's the same lightsaber. But, you know, obviously you've got the copper here. The wind vane is different. Like the Obi-Wan Kenobi wind vane is solid, whereas this part here, you can see through it, the brass bits. Let's take a look at these transistors up here. The Obi-Wan Kenobi one has 2 transistors here. None of them are copper, whereas this one is copper, and then this one here has a little design beveling around it. So there are some differences here and there. But overall, you can look at them and say, yeah, it's pretty much the same lightsaber. But yeah, enough about that. We're really here just to talk about the Episode 3 one, because it's gorgeous. It feels so right in the hand. It is not too heavy, it is not too light, it feels perfect. There's a great... I would probably hold it like here, I would probably not hold it up here or up here. My hand feels most comfortable here. That's just me personally, because my hands are a little smaller. So this is where I would like to hold it. Plus, that way, when I'm holding it, you get to see the gorgeous colors on the thin neck. How great is that? So, yeah. I will probably be doing a custom sound font for this, ripping sounds from Episode 3 to make a unique sound font that is entirely based off of Obi-Wan Kenobi for Episode 3. And hopefully I'll have my 3D printer up and running so that I can make my own chassis for this hilt. That would be lovely. But yeah, I just wanted to show off Roman Prop's Inception hilt. This is the Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 3 hilt from Revenge of the Sith. A gorgeous piece of work. If anyone else has ordered one of these and you want these powder-coated mods that I've done, if you want it to be a bit more accurate to this guy, or to some of the other pics that you may find of the actual prop, I'm very happy to do that. Just shoot me a message on my Facebook customs page, link is below, and I'd be very happy to do that for you guys. I'm just so happy with it! It's been 2.5 years that I've been looking for this guy, and Roman delivered. And I'm so very happy, and I'm so glad that I was able to get... It's a limited run. I'm so glad that I was able to get in on the limited run. And if it sells out, hopefully he'll do a second run. But for now, it is limited, so if this is one of your babies that you really want to get, go get on it right now. Link to Roman props below as well. I'll put that there. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and may the Force be with you.